In a series carrying a lot of weight heading toward the break, it has been the arms that have calmed a Nationals lineup that was in a groove when they arrived. One stingy run in 16 innings earned the first 2 victories of the series. The importance and the matchup elevate even higher for game number 3. Always nice to come out to the ballpark. Folks dreaming about a chance to possibly be a Phillies third baseman and the greatest home run hitter in franchise history. It's a gorgeous night as the Phillies and the Nationals get together for game 3 of a 4-game series. Now the Phillies, as we talked about during the outset, their starting pitching has been dominant during this series. The starters have won both ball games. Earned run average under 1, 16 innings. That is huge that both starters went 8 innings in the first 2 ball games. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Chris Wheeler. Right shirt, right shirt. We get set for game 3 of this 4-game series. The starters are the storyline tonight. Gio Gonzalez for the Nationals and Cliff Lee for the Phillies.
2 outstanding pitchers on paper. This will be 9-8 the next time we talk, right? When you get into the game. But no, these 2 guys, Tom, are so good, and it should be an outstanding game. The last time they both pitched here against each other in this ballpark, the Phillies, Cliff Lee was just tremendous in this game. He went 8 innings. He struck out 9. He didn't walk anybody, didn't give up anything, and the Phillies won the game by a score of 2-0. You see the way he was dealing with everything. Cliff Lee has been throwing a lot of fastballs and cutters this year. He mixes in a changeup. But for the most part, he's going to come after guys with hard stuff. He has an 8-game winning streak, and look at what the team has done during that time. His numbers, very, very good with a 2.40 earned run average, walks, strikeouts. Cliff Lee has been hot since the season started, and he hardly ever pitches a bad game.
Well, and he's taken on a guy tonight that's been pretty hot, too, in Gio Gonzalez. Now, win-loss record's not the same, but he has pitched well over his last handful of starts.
You don't get much off Gio Gonzalez. You have to hope once in a while he gets a little bit wild because he normally doesn't give up a whole lot of hits. He has a tremendous fastball that he can locate and an unbelievable curveball that he just locks left-handed and right-handed hitters with. There it is to a right-handed hitter, and he'll throw another one there, and to a left-handed hitter, it's devastating. He struck out 11 in this game that he pitched against the Phillies a few weeks ago. Just tremendous game by Gio Gonzalez. So when you look at the way these 2 guys deal, 2 left-handed pitchers tonight, every run will be precious in this ballgame. And Gio Gonzalez, he sticks with what works for him. Over the last 2 seasons, very, very, very little. He's going to throw fastball and curveball and once in a while a changeup, but he basically throws 2 pitches. He can move his fastball around up and down, in and out, and as we mentioned, his curveball, he's a little bit, I don't compare him to Nolan Ryan that he's that good, but he's a little bit like that. If his curveball is on and it's working, he's really difficult.
All right, we should see the first couple innings of tonight's ball game between the Phils and the Nationals. They could be very important for the outcome of this game 3 of this 4-game series. Phillies have been flying all around the base paths over the last handful of days. Lineups at first pitch when we return to Citizens Bank Park. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. See where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. By Citizens Bank, where good banking is good citizenship. Is it a time you experience good banking? By Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Phillies. By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phils. And by Independence Blue Cross, the most preferred health plan in the region. Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. last night's ball game. Maybe none more important than the 8th inning with Jason Worth at the plate.
Bases loaded. This was the moment. First pitch. He thought it was outside. It was a strike. He thought this was high. It was a strike. So 0-2. Now Hamels goes to work. Fouls a high fastball back. They go fastball away. Now he comes down and in. That pitch is low. This is the one he really wanted to get him on a high fastball. 3-2. See, Hamels takes a look in, thinking, how hard did he hit that? Well, I'm going to turn around and take a look, and Ben Revere runs it down to the warning track. Outstanding.
Well, here's our Geico quote of the day. This was a great quote. Big time battle. That's what baseball's all about, says Charlie Manuel. Worth came close, but no cigar.
That really sums it up, too, because Jay, that thing last night, and then Hamels talked about it later. He said it sounded like there were 60,000 people here yelling during that. It was so much fun for both of them.
It was pretty loud. There's no doubt about that. Let's take a look at the Nationals starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off at center field, Denard Span. Ian Desmond bats second, then Bryce Harper. Ryan Zimmerman hits fourth, followed by Jason Worth and Adam LaRoche. Anthony Rendon, the second baseman, hits seventh. Wilson Ramos eighth. And batting ninth and pitching is Gio Gonzalez. And they'll face Phillies left-hander Cliff Lee, who won his 10th game his last time out. He's 10-2 with an ERA of 2.73.
Cliff Lee has been so consistent all year with that 10-2 record, and his earned run average is just 2.73. The walk strikeout ratio is just tremendous. Hits way under innings pitched. You have two outstanding left-handed pitchers going tonight in this ball game. Here's our scouting report on Cliff. He's going to throw a lot of fastballs and cutters. He likes to control the tempo of the game, and he has been able to do that. Good lifetime numbers against these guys.
Well, the first batter he'll face is Denard Span. Span, a .264 hitter, no home runs, and 22 runs batted in. He was 0 for 4 in game 1. He had 4 groundouts to second base. And the first pitch is over for a strike. It's 0-1.
They were talking about him. That we had heard that he was hitting the ball the other way a little bit, and that's why he was much more successful. But he kept turning everything over last night.
He's hit .314 in his last 18 ball games. Outside and low. Ooh, outside corner, excuse me. Gary Cederstrom. He is the deciding voice. And it's 0-2. He's the crew chief.
Well, he's going to have 2 guys tonight to throw a lot of strikes.
And right out of the chute, that's exactly what Lee has done. Gio Gonzalez is the other guy. Broke his bat, another ground ball to second. Utley charges. Bat went farther than the ball. And there's one away here in the first. Wheels, that's 5 straight ground balls to chase up for Denard Span.
So much for him hitting the ball the other way a lot. And that, they say, is what made him more successful lately. And as you mentioned, his average is up. Cliff Lee just hits it. What he did was he hit it right off the end of the bat, and that's what broke it. And Chase Utley ignored the barrel coming and just went and made the play and threw him out.
All right, by that angle, maybe the bat did go as far as the ball.
Pretty close.
Ian Desmond, .278 with 15 home runs and 49 runs batted in. 1 for 8 so far in this series. Out toward right field. It's not deep. Delman Young comes running in.
Well, one of the things that can really help Cliff Lee and any pitcher on a hot, muggy night like this is what you just saw, an out on 1 pitch. And teams do go after Lee on early pitches in the count for obvious reasons, because the ball's around the plate all the time.
Here's Bryce Harper. Harper has 2 hits and 6 at bats during this series.
He had a tremendous at bat last night against Cole in that 9th inning when he took some really close pitches away that were balls, but pitches that some guys are going to swing at them.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard earlier today, the Marlins salvaged the final game of that 3-game series against the Braves, a 6-2 victory. Nationals will head to Miami after tomorrow's ball game. A little low, 2 balls, no strikes. Last outing for Cliff Lee, he kind of just ran out of gas. It was a hot day in Pittsburgh, or excuse me, against Atlanta. That ball's pulled toward the alley in right center field. That's going to go all the way to the wall. Ben Revere will get to it, but he was thinking 3 out of the gate, but then pulled up. And we'll stop at second.
I think with 1 out, he may have gone for 3, but with 2 outs, he's just going to shut it down there and stay at second base.
During the 2013 season, Turkey Hill will contribute $100 for each Phillies victory and 5 cents for each carton of Phillies Grand Slam ice cream, sold to support the Phillies youth baseball and softball programs. Well, now with 2 outs, Ryan Zimmerman is the batter. Zimmerman is 4 for 21 lifetime against Cliff Lee.
2 out runs in this game, I think, are going to be huge, because these guys are both very stingy.
Couple that with early runs.
Early runs really important.
At the knees, 0-1. Zimmerman also has been on a pretty good hot stretch, although he's just 2 for 8 in the series. He's hitting over .325 in his last 13 games, and there are his numbers with runners in scoring position and 2 away.
Well, he's just out there pumping strikes. 9 pitches, 7 strikes. Now he has Zimmerman in a spot where he can do different things with it. Try and make him chase. Really don't have to throw him a strike here. He was a little antsy last night with 2 strikes.
On the inside corner, a called strike 3. He was right around the strike zone with all 3 of those pitches. Zimmerman doesn't think so, but the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left in scoring position. Early on, Cliff Lee has found a little paint, and he certainly has used it here at the top of the first. Look at tonight's lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off at center field, Ben Revere. Jimmy Rollins bats second, then Chase Utley third. Dominic Brown back in the cleanup spot. He's been red hot in that area. Michael Young, the third baseman, bats fifth. Delman Young hits sixth. And the bottom third of Rupp, Ruiz, and Lee. And they'll face left-hander Gio Gonzalez, 6-3 this year. His ERA is going down, though. 3.14 as we get set for tonight's game.
One of the best pitchers in Major League Baseball on a given night. Walks right there sometimes can get him a little bit of trouble. Look what left-handed hitters are not hitting, Elfie. 167 with 2 home runs of the 10 that he has allowed. And hits per innings pitched are very good. So the way you beat him is you hope you can get a couple walks sometimes and then a hit. Fastball's in the 90 to 95 range, and he has good location with it when he's on. Changeup he'll use a little bit, but his curveball, devastating.
Well, the Phillies have 4 left-handers in their lineup tonight, including Cliff Lee, left-handed hitters. And the first one is Ben Revere, who's hit it 7 straight. So the first pitch is on the outside corner. This young man has had himself a good series at a very good homestand. His average is up to .302.
Last time against Gio Gonzalez, the Phillies went single homer in the first inning. First 2 guys, Michael Young hitting the home run, and that was all they got off it. Oof. It's really tough for a left-handed hitter to stay in there against that hook. And it's a sweeper. You see where Gonzalez starts. He's on the third base side of the rubber. Means he likes to bring that thing around the guy. He likes a lot of room for it. Usually with a guy with a good curveball is going to throw from there. That means he's going to throw it and bring it around the guy a lot of times, especially a left-handed hitter, or to a right-handed hitter who's going to try and get it in on him and down quickly. See where he's pitching from the third base side.
Revere continues to hit the ball well.
Really?
That is an 8-game hitting streak. He's aboard to start the bottom of the first.
Well, he got the base hit, and then Michael Young hit the home run to give him the 2-run lead last time. That's not going to happen tonight because Jimmy's hitting 2. But Ben Revere really turned on a fastball.
Oh, he's 4 for 7 now, lifetime against Gio Gonzalez. Here's Rollins. Rollins at 266. He's 3 for 8 this series so far. A couple runs scored, an RBI. Last night, Rollins swung early in his at-bat in the first inning, hit into a double play. Gio does have obviously that leg kick, which freezes base runners if it's not read properly.
Right, and you can run on him if he can pick a curveball, because a lot of times his curveball's down and hard to handle for a catcher.
Well, that was a changeup, so it's 0-2 to Rollins.
That's his third pitch, and that's a pretty good changeup.
See, base stealers 4 for 7 against Gio Gonzalez.
Did a little slide step there before he threw the curveball, threw him off a little bit, it looked like.
Way inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
See, that's the pitch we were talking about, that he'll throw it down and into right-handed hitters a lot like that. Very tough pitch for a catcher to handle and throw a guy out if you happen to run on and pick the right pitch to run on. His fastball can be like a pitch out though.
There's the fastball pulled toward third. That could be 2. Zimmerman is second for 1. And around the horn 5-4-3 double play. Phillies hit it to 3 of them last night, 1 by Rollins in the first, and he hits it to another one here in the first. That was routine once the ball left Ryan Zimmerman's hand and arrived at Rendon.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have much problem with that play. You know, you watch it because he's in motion and he's able to sidearm it, and he times it really well. Tom said that's just a fastball. It was up a little bit, and he got on top of it. All that movement going towards second base, and he's comfortable with it. Rendon got out of the way of Ben Revere quickly. No chance to break it up.
2 outs. Chase Utley's the batter. Utley 2 for 6 lifetime against Gonzalez, and he takes a strike. Chase's 1 hit in this series is a double. He's also scored a couple of runs. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Jack Walsh of Oakland, New Jersey. Phillies hit a home run at tonight's ball game, and Jack will win $300.
He used to left-handed pitching. 4 out of the next 5 starters.
Well, and obviously these next 5 games, just as the first 5 in this homestand, are extremely important for the Phillies. They're within a game of 500. They're 7 games back in the division, 5.5 games back in the wild card. Trying to get to that 500 mark.
That's a good starting point.
He pulls the 3-1 foul, and it is full 3-2. Gary Cederstrom was giving Ramos a moment there.
I don't know what happened there. Whether that ball fouled off or he got some dirt in his, maybe got some dirt in his eye. My mask has to be hot tonight.
Out toward right center field. Jason Worth is coming over and makes the catch. Side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, and nobody left for the Phillies. We've completed our first inning here at Citizens Bank Park. A scoreless game. Game series. It's a 7:05 first pitch. Kyle Kendrick against Jordan Zimmerman, and then stay after because the Xfinity Fireworks Show is coming up after tomorrow's ball game. To get tickets, go to Phillies.com. Top of the second. Folks are all settled in, ready to go.
Well, just in case people are just anxiously waiting for this, here are our Nissan keys to tonight's game. We got to talk about the pitching. This is just a tremendous matchup. You've already seen both these guys out there dealing, and runs are going to be tough tonight. You're going to have to move runners, pay attention to the little things to try and score runs.
Well, as we go to the second, Jason Worth will lead it off. And Worth swings at the first pitch. And it's no balls and 1 strike.
See these kind of pitchers out there, you really have to try and do something sometimes to score off them because they're both very stingy with runs.
And I think both managers, obviously veteran managers, they've seen millions of games with these kind of matchups.
Yeah.
Probably why Jason Worth swung at that first pitch fastball, thinking, all right, maybe I can jump him for a solo home run.
Right. And Jason Worth is not a big time first ball swinger. He sees as many pitches as anybody in the league, as he proved in that at bat last night with Hamill. That was just a great battle.
Oh, 2 pitch to Worth. Curveball, and it's pulled through the hole on the left side.
He doesn't throw a whole lot of curveballs, and he made a little bit of a mistake and hung that. Talk about Worth. Seen him play a bunch of games lately, and he's been wearing out that spot right over there between short and third base. Not so much in this series, but coming into it.
Well, he's hit it 7 straight. I think when the Phillies have seen the Nationals, this is the best I think we've seen him swing. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, he's healthy, and he's also looks like his timing's pretty good. Because when his timing gets off, you can get him out a lot. But right now, he looks just the way he waited on that curveball was a mistake, but he didn't have to hit it that hard.
Now LaRoche 1 for 8 in the series. He has 4 hits and 14 career at bats against Cliff Lee. Out toward right center field. Ben Revere waits, makes the catch. And there's one away for Anthony Rendon. Worth goes back to first, and we'll go to Murph for his first report of the night. Murph?
All right, T-Mac, thank you very much. How about a medical update on Ryan Howard, who had his knee surgery this morning with Dr. Michael Siccotti. And, it all went well, according to Ruben Amaro Jr. That is first and foremost the most important thing. They said when they went in there and they looked in the scope, the damage wasn't actually as bad as they had originally thought when they saw the MRI. So what they did, a procedure called a debridement of the meniscus, which is basically cleaning up the edges of the meniscus instead of having to repair it, so that it's certainly much better. Recovery time, 6 to 8 weeks right now, but they are very encouraged that they're going to get Ryan Howard back at some point later on in this season. So certainly good news for Ryan Howard, guys. Absolutely great news for the Phillies and Ryan Howard. He'll be here at the ballpark tomorrow, and Murph Rubin also said he'll begin his rehab tomorrow. Yeah, it's almost immediate. They don't waste any time getting you back up on your feet. We saw it with Eric Kratz, and we'll see the same with Ryan Howard. So that's really terrific. You want to get those guys moving and back into the swing of things. So it'll take some time. Obviously, he's got a couple of weeks of hard work ahead of him, but they were very encouraged with the results. All right, so good news for the Phillies.
Yeah, great news, as Murph mentioned there, on both his knee operations. Have Eric Kratz back as quickly as he is, and hopefully get Ryan back quickly. Absolutely. Think about just the pressure that procedure is going to take off Ryan's knee. Rendon hits it back towards short. That could be two. Rollins will take it right to the bag for one, and it's a double play. So each team has turned to double play in the first inning and a half to help their starting pitcher. No runs, one hit, nobody left for the Nationals. We'll go to the bottom of the second. Dominic Brown will lead it off. Smartphone or tablet to log on to csnphilly.com. Click on In-Game Live to get in-depth stats and join the social conversation. In-Game Live only at csnphilly.com. Bottom of the second, Dominic Brown, Michael Young, and Delman Young will lead it off. As Dominic comes to the plate, we're reminded that he is batting cleanup instead of Ryan Howard. How about 12 for 34? With 8 runs batted in as the Phillies cleanup hitter. Sometimes when guys get moved to quote-unquote pressure spots, they don't perform as well. I don't know if he's missed a step by moving to cleanup. Well, he is just in such a really good groove since he started picking up there during the month of May, and then gets so hot that I don't think anything bothers him right now. First pitch to him in this at bat is outside and low. Gio Gonzalez can bother any left-handed hitter. Brown does have a hit in 5 official at-bats against Gio Gonzalez. That one's back toward the mound, and Gonzalez has it. So a quick out to start the bottom of the second. Michael Young is now due up.
Young is 6 for 25 with a couple home runs against Gio Gonzalez. And it's 0-1.
Well, that home run last time was one we talked about in the first inning. After Ben Revere singled, Michael homered, and then the Phillies didn't score anymore. They still almost won that game. They had a 2-1 lead with 2 outs in the 9th inning till Worth tied it up, and then Desmond hit the grand slam in extra innings to beat them.
Gio Gonzalez, who was the property of the Phillies at one point. He pitched in Reading. Asked him a few weeks ago, I said, did you anticipate that your major league debut would be in a Phillies uniform? He said, well, when I was with the club at the time, yeah, because they traded for me. But then they traded me back to the team that they got me from. He said, but it was a business. He said, and I was traded for some pretty good players. When they got him back, when they got him from Chicago, when they sent him back. Yeah. He eventually went on to the A's, where he performed quite well, and that's where the Nationals got him from before last season, signed him to a contract.
Even as a young player, I remember reports when he was with the Phillies, his stuff was explosive, and it is. It's just swing and miss stuff, and that's hard to do.
Well, he won 21 games last season as Ryan Sandberg tosses the ball into the crowd.
Talking to Ryan the other night, he says, is it hot down there? He says, yeah, it is, especially with these helmets. Never think about that really. The whole time. Understands why they have to wear the helmets and all. He says, we have long innings of those day games with those helmets. He says, they're really hot.
To right center field. This could be a tough play. Span and Worth are going back. They're not going to get it. It's a one-hop off the scoreboard. And this 8th pitch at bat turns into a double for Michael Young, his 16th of the year.
Trevor hit his double last night. It gave the Phillies the runs that opened it up a little bit. It made it a little more comfortable, even they got a little scary there at the end. Looked like he got a fastball away, and he likes the ball out over the plate. Good load right there, and let it go. And hit it hard. And these hot nights, you hit the ball hard like that, it will take off here.
So Michael Young's in scoring position. That's a 5-game hitting streak. Delman Young, who's hit an 8 straight, will face Gio Gonzalez.
They're going to pinch him that way too, because Delman Young hits so many balls. Even though you have a left-handed pitcher, he hits so many balls to right and right center. They're going to play him that way. Big gap in left center.
Ball got away from Ramos for a moment. I don't know if he was crossed up or, well, he may have been. He's going out and talking to Gio Gonzalez.
Yeah, that looked very awkward, like it was a cross up. He got a breaking ball there, and maybe he was expecting, I guess he was expecting fastball. Watch right here. He's expecting a fastball, and he got a fastball. He's looking for a breaking ball. Well, he's lucky he didn't get hurt. That's even worse when the catcher is expecting something off speed, and then you throw a 90-some-mile-an-hour fastball. No time to react. He's very lucky that didn't hit him. And Gary Streeterstrom's back there saying, "Hey guy, get your signs right, will you?
Get on the same page,
yeah, please." With the guy throwing like this guy throws.
Five on that fastball, 1-1.
Young's feeling for a little bit the last couple games. You can see he was really hot. His swing was down. Even taking those little half practice swings he's taking as he's getting out of the box there. He's trying to tell himself to do something. It almost looks like stay in. Hitters pull off. They really have trouble doing anything when you pull off a lot. It looked like he was trying to talk to himself to keep his shoulder in.
That's what Wheels is talking about. He had it going pretty good. He's hitting over 430 since the end of June. Now the 2-2 pitch to him. And he just gets a piece of the breaking ball.
Throwing 3 curveballs in this at bat. So he's really set him up right now to go away with something, because he has him looking in so much. Unless they think, well, our out pitch to him is the curveball. Well, he came with fastball then after all those curveballs, but it was in the middle of the plate.
Called strike 3. Delman knew it as soon as the ball came across the plate. 2 outs here in the second.
Yeah.
Darren Ruff's coming up.
That was fastball, and that is a strike the whole time. Whether he's looking away, whether he's guessing curveball, he had no chance on that. I've been seeing a lot of breaking balls away from right-handed pitchers since he came up. Now you got a lefty out there tonight. See how he approaches this guy.
Chopper towards short, and Desmond takes it on that big hop. He throws out Ruff. Side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left in scoring position. We've completed 2. On to the 3rd we go. Here's the question, Wheels. Which two Phillies pitchers won back-to-back All-Star games in '94 and '95? Answer will be revealed in the 7th inning. It's a good question.
Really good. Yeah, no one of them, but that one's going to be we'll see.
Cliff Lee has allowed 2 hits so far, double to Bryce Harper, a single to Jason Worth, but he's also gotten a double play ball. As we go to the 3rd, Wilson Ramos will lead it off. Phillies will say goodbye to the Nationals after tomorrow night's ball game. They'll welcome in the Chicago White Sox for a 3-game series beginning Friday night at 7:05. After the game, Xfinity fireworks show. And then Sunday at 1:35, all fans 15 and over receive the Pennsylvania Auto Theft Prevention Authority travel mug.
White Sox will be coming in from Detroit, playing the Tigers right now.
Tigers lead that game 3-1. Ramos hits one through the hole on the left side on the first pitch from Lee.
See a lot of that tonight, that they're swinging at the first pitch, and he either has to stay out of hitting zone on that first pitch, or you know, maybe mix them up a little bit because they're coming out very aggressive against him.
And now Gonzalez, who does have a home run, as you see this swing by Ramos.
Yeah, it's a ground ball. It could have been at somebody, but he hit it hard and found the hole. Gio has 5 sacks so far this year. Left-handed pitcher, right-handed hitter. No elbow pad. That's surprising.
And he bunts up the first base line, and it's foul. Cliff Lee grabbed him and then picked the ball up. Like, whoa, 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 wait right here. Let me see if it's going to go fair or foul.
And then we'll tag you. It's a couple of left-handers. So nothing. You never know what could happen. How about no elbow pad? That's surprising.
It is surprising.
Usually you don't see that. Here it comes down the line. Coming out. Lee just holds on to him, and then he's going to pick it up, and yeah, now you're out.
And he bunts it awkwardly, picked up by Ruiz. He throws to second in time to get Wilson Ramos.
What a great play by Carlos Ruiz.
Incredible play, because he could have easily let that roll for strike 2, but he saw that he had a chance to get Ramos.
Well, he also knows, and you know, not to disparage catchers, but he also knows he has a catcher at first base, and he knows how he runs. That's a curveball. Nice job by Gonzalez to get it down. But Carlos's main thought right there is, I can get to this quickly, and the guy on first base is not going to get to second quickly, because I know what it's like when I'm out there and they're trying to bunt me over. It's just a tremendous instinctive play by Carlos Ruiz, who really seemed to enjoy making that play.
Absolutely. Here's Span. Span is grounded out to second in tonight's ball game. He shows bunt, takes a strike.
Yeah, well, he's bunting for a base hit. Gonzalez took a look in like, what was that for? Did I miss something? Because you obviously don't sacrifice with one out.
And with the pitcher out first.
And with a pitcher, there's all kinds of things why you don't do it.
Ruff just informed Lee that he's going to play behind Gio Gonzalez at first.
This guy's been pulling so many balls that they might as well try and take the hole away.
Out towards center. It's slicing a little bit toward left center, and Revere makes the catch.
His buddy runs it down. These two are really good friends.
Yeah, Ben Revere points to Denard Span as being part of his inner circle, part of his influence. Said he took him under his wing when he was with the Twins, and kind of like his big brother, he says.
Yeah, Span played center, and Revere played a lot of right field for the Twins. And they both got traded in the same offseason.
2 outs for Desmond. He flied out to right in his first at bat.
To watch Gonzalez a little bit, they're going to have Ruff come in, maybe tap the glove a little bit behind him. The reason I say that is he's a good athlete. He's one of those guys. Greg Maddux would do that once in a while. Guys like that, they'll take off if you totally forget about them and say, well, go ahead if you want. They'll go.
Line drive, base hit to left for Ian Desmond. Boy, that handcuffed Dominic Brown for a moment, but he recovered. Second hit of the inning. It puts runners on first and second for Bryce Harper. It's time now for our Cold Hard Fact of the Night, brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Phillies have a 93-61 record against the Nats since they moved their franchise from Montreal to D.C. prior to the 2005 season.
Well, they didn't have very good teams for a long time. The last 2 years, they have real good teams.
Saw a gentleman in the Hall of Fame club. I don't see him now wearing an Andre Dawson Expos jersey.
Wow.
It's the powder blue, the road jersey. He's having trouble letting go.
Yeah.
Harper takes low and in. It's 1-0.
I believe they've been in Washington that long. That play by Ruiz saved the run.
Broken bat. Squibber to third. Michael Young will just take it to the bag. Side is retired. A couple hits of the inning for the Nationals, but Wills is right. That play by Carlos Ruiz keeps this in a scoreless game as we go to the bottom of the third in Philadelphia. The Quality Plus Ford stores. Go further and buy Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEFF now for an appointment. Well, it's turned out to be a nice evening here in Philadelphia. Lights glistening off the scoop. And we go to the bottom of the third. Gio Gonzalez, who was on the base path since the top of the third came to a close, just now finishing up his warm-up tosses. Carlos Ruiz will lead it off. It'll be Ruiz, Lee, and Ben Revere. Carlos is due, isn't he, Wheels? Is he due to break out for a big extra base hit night?
We've been talking about him the last few games, and his swing is so long right now. He's trying to do a lot. There's so many games this year. I think he shortens that swing up a little bit. He'll start to drive the ball again. And he knows that. He knows what works for him, and it's always easy for someone to tell you what you're doing wrong, and they know, but then it's like, well, how do I stop doing it?
And nobody's given him the right answer just yet.
Yeah. Well, after a while, when you're a veteran player and you know your swing, you got to figure it out yourself. I think when you see him start to drive some balls hard to right field, that'll be the beginning.
Only 3 extra base hits so far for Ruiz and 6 RBIs. And he takes outside. Heck of a catch by a gentleman in the suite level. That gentleman right there, he brought his glove and he put it to use. And he shocked everybody in front of him because they saw the ball coming. And they're thinking, oh no, oh no. They appeal, no swings as the first base umpire. Kerwin down there.
Could be the award winner in the fan catches at the end of the year for best dressed.
Go
with some categories, and he would win that one. coat, a nice tie, white shirt. Look, you're on, honey. Good job.
Nice catch.
Outstanding job.
Carlos hits one the other way, base hit.
That was hit hard. He waited on that. His swing was a little shorter, and he hit it hard. Now that's one base hit, but watching Carlos Ruiz all these years, to me, when he starts to hit the ball hard to the opposite field like that, that starts to bring him around. I mean, the same situation. Maybe trying to bunt a catcher over.
And what do you think Wilson Ramos is thinking at this point?
Yeah.
I'm going to get him.
And LaRoche is also, that conversation with Gio Gonzalez is probably, look, I'm not going to be hanging around here a long time because we don't have to hold him on that close. I'm going to make a real run for the plate. So I've got this side. LaRoche is teasing Ruiz a little bit.
And Lee bunts it toward third. Zimmerman's throw goes to second. And they're saying safe at second. Desmond was off the bag.
Yeah, he came off it really quick. Davey Johnson's going to come out and complain. A lot of times they'll give it to you in the area. Desmond looked like he was trying to make a double play there instead of just get the out.
Second base umpires Lance Barksdale. Davey did not agree at all with that call.
Well, let's see what he does.
Well, he's definitely off.
Yep. But they'll usually give it to you. See what he's trying to do there is two things: get away from Ruiz, but also get out of there quickly and get himself a pitcher running down the line and a double play, and they wind up getting nobody.
Well, it certainly is the right call by Lance Barksdale. Now it's not always called, but it was the right call by the second base umpire. It's an E6 and a fielder's choice. The 11th error of the year.
Griswold swinging the bat great. No sign of a bunt here.
Well, I thought maybe they'd think about it just to put two in scoring position, but you got a pitcher and a catcher. There's a chopper back toward the middle. That could be two, and it is. Second double play.
Backfires right there because you have to they'd be thinking, well, he's such a hot hitter. And he's not hitting in those weak double plays the way that he did for so long. That's the first time he's done that in a long time, where he hit one of those weak dribblers up the middle right near the bag that he did so much of early.
I was about to say that I thought they might think about it just because of what you said earlier, that in a game like this, with two tough pitchers, you try to do whatever you can just to get that first run or get a couple of runs. But you're right, he has been swinging the bat well.
And early in the season, he did that so much, it might have gone, well, all right, we're going to try and bunt him over. But the other thing is, you had Ruiz at second. He bunts. It's easy to throw him out at third on a force play.
1-0 the count to Rollins. A curveball outside.
Well, he'd go with a chance to get a 2-out run. All runs are important tonight. 2-out runs really big. Really like to capitalize on them making a mistake there too. The mistakes in this game can win and lose it.
Out to right, Worth over toward the line. He'll get there, and the side will be retired. No runs, one hit. And one man left over at third. Phil's left a couple in scoring position so far. We've played our first three here in South Philadelphia. W.B. Mason has an all-star lineup of snacks and beverages that keep your break room stocked. 3 in the books. We go to the 4th. Both teams have had some base runners the first 3 innings. It's a warm night to wear one of the Fanatic Dangle hats. That little guy is just trying to stay as cool as possible. Sarge, they ever give you one of the Phillies straw hats like that? You had one of those before?
I started those right here for the Phillies.
You started the straw hats?
Well, hats.
Well, I know that, but that particular.
But they all evolve around the same thing. Now, I mean, you know, because you have a Phillies hat there, if it's a different color, it's still a Phillies hat, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have you to thank for that hat right there.
No, we have Scott Brander to thank for that particular style there. Can't take credit for everything.
Well, it sounded like you just did.
I mean, it did come out a little bit like I actually started them, but.
Ryan Zimmerman takes a strike on the outside corner. It's 0-1.
Not that particular style. They're all over the ballpark these days. Hats.
Hats and more hats. 0-2 to Zimmerman. He struck out looking in the first.
Yeah, you can always tell when he has displeasure on a strike. May not say very much, Zimmerman, but he'll walk out, walk away. Whether or not he just swings at this no matter what. Oh.
Now Gilligan should take credit for that one, right? You're not going to take credit for that one,
no,
are you?
but I have worn one of those before, yes.
Looks like a very comfortable hat. 1-2 pitch to Zimmerman. And that'll be out of play.
One of those players in the league you really want to crowd. He likes the ball out over the plate. He's got good power to all fields. Hey, before he had those throwing problems there, he was really even a better hitter.
And Lee's got him on strikes twice. That was a cutter. He gets him swinging. He got him looking in the first inning. Second strikeout for Cliff. And we take a look at our Mazda leaders, and Cliff Lee has been very good. He's been one of the more dominant pitchers in all Major League Baseball since 2008. He's won a Cy Young Award, and you see his earned run average is second only to Clayton Kershaw, and just ahead of Adam Wainwright.
Hey, that shows a lot of consistency when you see that ERA like that. Shows you how competitive Lee is. That's a great effort. I mean, if you're even Carpenter at 3, that's still outstanding.
With 2 to Worth. Well, think about even what Cliff Lee has done against the National League East over his last 14 starts. 11-2. With an earned run average of 1.46.
And they know that. You know, the opposition knows how tough he is against them. Comes right at you, too. Whether or not he's got you 0-2, 1-2, 3-2. One of those pitchers doesn't like to walk hitters. Believes in his stuff. Even when he doesn't have his top-notch game, he still gives you 100% effort. That's one of the main reasons you like him. Ooh.
And a called strike 3. Worth was fooled. It looked like he was looking for something outside, and he got a fastball right down the chute.
Yeah, I'm surprised, too, though, that the guys on the opposition aren't looking for pitches more inside. One of the reasons, too, though, they don't usually call it, but he throws them right there, obviously looking for something away.
Well, just 7 balls so far in tonight's game for Lee. He's got 2 outs here in the 4th.
Well, that is just a phenomenal stat. I mean, you might as well leave the dugout and get ready to start to swing your bat. I mean, he's coming right at you. Just a matter of what pitch it is, whether or not it's going to be a fastball, cutter, or that breaking ball.
Ground ball towards second. Utley to his right. And easy hitting for Clifton. 1, 2, 3 go the Nationals here at the top of the 4th. We played 3.5 here in South Philadelphia. When we come back with the bottom of the 4th, Chase Utley will lead it off for the Phillies. Is good citizenship. Is it a time you experience good banking? By Mazda, we believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. And by McDonald's, I'm loving it. Oh, the big orange ball in the sky has been pretty hot over the last week or so. It was warm again today as the players were busy taking infield practice prior to batting practice. They do that from time to time. They've done it more this year than any other year. Ryan Howard once told me that it's great to do it the first day back from a road trip to kind of get used to the surface again here at Citizens Bank.
Yeah, I think they do that once a homestand. And Rhino will have them out, and he always has Michael Young, and for good reason now because he is playing first base, so he has double work to be able to do.
Yeah, today was PFPs for the pitchers. They're working on covering first base, doing different things like that.
And they need it.
And I thought it was great to see one Roy Halladay out there being part of everything. Doc is, from everybody that's watched him, he has worked so hard to get back, and he was throwing again out in the outfield tonight before the ball game, and he's making progress.
Yeah, that's a lonely feeling on the DL because you're somewhat a part of it, but you're really not a part of the conversation. When you're on that DL, you're just hoping to get back, got to stay out of everybody's way, whether or not you're a superstar or not. You're treated just about the same, but a whole little different feeling when you know you're suiting up for armor to go out there and have war against an opposition.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Chase Utley. Utley fly to right his first time.
It'll be interesting to see how Ryan Howard gets back. I mean, it's very simple. The harder you work, the quicker you're going to be able to get back. Everybody is different, however. Guys that have really big bodies like Ryan Howard might take him a little longer time. But in going through it, you really don't want to come back unless you are in baseball shape, meaning be able to slide, be able to run, stop, do all the things necessary that you need to do on the field.
Utley hits it down the left field line. Harper into foul territory. It's back into the seats.
Yeah, he doesn't go as hard and running on those fences like he used to. And when he first got up, realizing now that those fences don't move and can cause you a lot of harm if you hit it the wrong way.
Utley again down the left field line.
Well, take a look at this at Dodger Stadium. That's what I'm talking about. As he goes right into the wall, you have to be cognizant of that warning track. But not just Bryce Harper, as you can see, really got hurt on that. There's other players in the league that have done just about that same thing and trying to challenge that wall there. And again, it just doesn't move as Utley strikes out there on an off-speed pitch.
Second strikeout for Gio Gonzalez, and one away for Dominic Brown.
Here's that breaking ball again. That ball you want to be up in order to swing at. It's just a good pitch, good pitcher's pitch. And that's after all those fastballs that he threw. So as a hitter, you're going to be a little bit anxious. And everybody has swung at him. He's got a good curveball tonight. Those kind of pitches, you just want to be able to foul them off to hope that you can get another chance.
Gary Cedarstrom says yes, he did. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Brown. Brown grounded back to the box his first time.
Well, you like for him to get a little help on that.
That one's pulled right side, diving play, Rendon, and quickly to his feet. Well, not much you can do about that.
Boy, I tell you what, he hit an excellent pitch, ball breaking down and away. Get that ball up. That ball's out of here. But when you're hot, that's what happens. You hit just about every ball on the nose there. Great play as he almost snow cones it. Ball hit so hard. Brown not able to almost get into your pitchers. How hard. What a great shot. Dirt flying up. Whew.
Michael Young doubled in the second. So he's 1 for 1. He's hit it 5 straight. His average up to 292.
He's more of a high ball hitter. Likes that ball a little bit up in the zone. I think Michael Young sees that ball a lot better. That's up in the zone. It's out over the plate.
Curveball pulled toward the left side, cut off by Zimmerman, and that'll do it for the bottom of the 4th. So Gio Gonzalez works a 1-2-3 4th. Not as easy an inning as Cliff Lee pitch count wise, but he still retires the Phils 1-2-3. San Francisco Giants will be spending 3 days here in Philadelphia beginning Tuesday, July 30th. And their series with the Phils winds down on Thursday, the 1st of August. That's the Brad Lidge retirement ceremony. A free photo print for all fans, compliments of Toyota. Order your tickets now by going to Phillies.com.
Boy, what a great year he had when the Fighting Phils won it all. Unbelievable as a closer, Brad Lidge.
Yeah, Charlie Emanuel, every time he talks about a closer, he said, you know, nobody's ever perfect. Well, except for Brad Lidge. He always adds that at the end.
Oh, boy.
Anthony Rendon leads it off for the Nationals, and he'll take a strike. Rendon hit into a double play his first time.
Hey, you know a pitcher's going to be throwing fastballs just about all night long. It becomes a challenge for the hitter. Guy's jumping back and the guy's throwing strikes. I just don't understand it. Not even taking it like he's going to hit it. He's been throwing strikes the whole night.
Well, he certainly has gotten off to a good start with each hitter.
At times they'll get that 0-2 and they'll get too close to the plate. That would really be the only fault. But again, he just doesn't like throwing balls to hitters. It would appear he can get out of the zone with this, maybe something in the dirt or up out of the zone and get a strikeout on it.
Out to left field. That ball's well hit. Dominic Brown goes back, and that one is gone. Anthony Rendon has just given the Nationals a 1-0 lead here in the top of the 5th.
Get a chance to see exactly where this pitch is. Like those young hitters, they come up here, they can hit a fastball. Like to trick them at times and get that ball down in the dirt. See where it is here. Well, that ball really, if it's cutting right toward his back. Not really high enough, more near that belt area, maybe a little higher than that. But he was right on it, looking fastball, got it, put a good swing on it.
Well, now Wilson Ramos, he singled his first time. It's 1 ball and no strikes. You saw the replay. There was a gentleman that was hit with that home run ball, and he is walking up the stairs, and it looks like he is fine. That was good to see that he was able to get back on his feet. That one's to right field. That's well hit. Delman Young is going to watch that one go up the stairway. Another solo home run. This one the opposite way for Ramos. Back-to-back homers for the Nats. And it's now 2-0 Washington. And he was sailing along.
Check out the location of that. See, it's when he gets hurt. It's just really bad location on that particular pitch. You either want to get it in all the way or just away, especially with the first strikes.
Well, nobody out and 2 runs in for the Nationals here in the top of the 5th. Gio Gonzalez, the batter. Gonzalez pops it up. Darren Ruff in foul territory. Wanders around and makes the catch. Chase Utley was there as the ball got away as they were throwing it around. But Chase Utley was there. I think Chase was a second away from calling him off.
Yeah, was actually looking at him, I think, all the way. And it's the time of night when that ball gets up in the air, kind of difficult to see. I thought he made a good play out of it.
Rollins has to hurry as this ball is grounded his way from Span. And there are 2 outs.
All right, in a game like this, hate to see the end of the lineup where they're actually scoring, and the way they scored, hitting the ball out of the ballpark. You don't like the beginning of the lineup for sure, but the end of the lineup, even more difficult to swallow. You just don't expect those hitters to hit the ball out of the ballpark, especially Ramos going the opposite field there, but maybe that's the way his power, and it does travel when it's warm in every ballpark. It's a good pitch, kind of backed off that first pitch fastball.
Out toward left center field. That one's carrying pretty well, and that one is off the base of the wall. Desmond will pull in the second with a 2-out double. Pretty crisp swing.
Got to venture to say all those balls have been either the cutter or the fastball. Desmond up to the task as he hits that ball off the wall.
Bryce Harper's 1 for 2. He doubled his first time up. I had a fielder's choice last time.
Good fastball, good location. Gonna stop the bleeding right here. Give them no more runs. That's interesting. I mean, even though he's, they've hit the ball hard or whatever, he comes right back at you, and that's what a competitor does. That's why his teammates really love playing behind him. Don't have to think. He's getting the ball, he throws. If he gets hit, he comes right back at you.
Now the 0-2 to Harper. On the outside corner. Called strike 3. Drove a fastball toward the outer edge. Fourth strikeout for Lee in this ballgame. But for the 5th time this year, the Nationals have gone back-to-back. They do so with Rendon and Ramos. Middle of the 5th, Nationals up 2-0. Reports from the Sixers Summer League. Lisa Hillary takes a tour de shore. Chevy Malibu Sports Night tonight after postgame live only on Comcast Sportsnet. Delvin Young leads it off. Phillies down 2-0. Young takes outside. Delvin struck out looking his first time up. This puts pressure on Gio Gonzalez right after the Nationals score a couple runs.
Yeah, that's what you want to do.
There's a strike.
Be able to answer it right back.
May have been ball 4, and Delman knows it. It's 3-2 to Delman Young.
Now that's ball 4. Again, you want to locate that ball, get it down just a little bit. Doesn't need any help. He's a good enough pitcher as it is. Concentrate. Make sure you get that ball down. Much better.
Jay Gonzalez has been pretty good when his team's needed a shutdown inning. A little above the National League average.
Well, those are just so important to keep the momentum right back on your side. Got to have that when the opposition scores. You score, you want to shut down that opposition until you can score again. You want to do the same thing. Therefore, you keep the momentum right on your side. Usually it kind of demoralizes the team, especially if they're not able to chip away at your lead.
Inside, ball 4, and Delman draws a walk. It's the first walk of the night issued by Gio Gonzalez. And that'll bring Darren Ruff to the plate. For more on Ruff and Charlie Manuel's thoughts on him, let's turn it over to Murph. Murph?
All right, thank you very much, T-Mac. Obviously, Darren Ruff going to get his opportunity over the next couple of weeks to show Phillies brass just exactly what he can do up in the big leagues. Well, remember last year, obviously, he was called up, and when he was here, Charlie Manuel talking today about how he was impressed with the way Darren Ruff approached it. But, you know, he said you have to remember, he was red hot when he came up last year. He had hit 38 home runs down in Reading. He said this year he's noticing a little bit different. He needs to see a more aggressive load out of Darren Ruff. He thought he was more aggressive last year than he has seen so far this year, and also maybe a little bit of better balance. But, you know, this is a guy that Charlie has been very high on since he saw him last year. He believes that he can really make an impact as long as he can get himself going here in the big leagues.
Oh, he's got the count even 1 ball, 1 strike, and they're going to need him, Sarge. They're going to need him to have an impact.
Well, they do. They're gonna need him. I've liked him from the very beginning. Again, he does have an open stance, and a lot of times he'll run out of bat. And what I mean by that, the ball on the outside part of the plate that's down, he hasn't been able to handle on the right side. I think that he was pressing, and well, all young players, when you go through and you start to press a little bit, your bat will be a lot slower. And to his defense, last year when he came up, he was red hot, but he didn't get a chance to play hardly at all when he came back up and he was smoking the ball again. For me, I think Murphie's going to be an impact player before it's all said and done. And the only thing he may not be able to improve will be his speed, but he'll be able to hit the ball with a regular basis.
Well, certainly, Sarge, that's what they need, and that's what they're hoping. You know, he eventually got 33 at bats last year. He got 11 hits, and I think he had 3 home runs out of those 11 hits. But what Charlie was talking about today was, you know, and I would imagine, you know, you could speak to this, Sarge, that he was so confident last year by the time he got up to the big leagues that it just was able to carry over, whereas earlier this year down in the minor leagues he wasn't as successful, so maybe he hasn't been able to carry that over quite yet.
Good point as he ends up walking on that. And you're right, that's what it's all about for younger players, to be able to carry it over. And I thought again he would be able to do what he needed to in the major leagues, because he went to winter ball. He had 11 or 12 home runs in Venezuela. It's a hard league to go there and hit home runs, and I thought he would be solid. I actually thought, before Dominic actually just took the position in left field, that he would have won the job there just because he had a pretty good winter ball. But he's got some time on his side. But this is, for me, this is like a coming out party for me. They want to see what he can do. He has time to be able to do it. Whether or not he can do it while Ryan Howard's gone or not, I think they're going to make some decisions on Darren Ruff, on his future, on how he swings the bat now.
Well, Steve McCatty came out to talk to Gio Gonzalez. I think Gio was upset about a pitch or two in the at-bat to Ruff. I think, anyway, just by reading his lips and his reaction when Ramos came out. And Steve McCatty did say something to Cedarstrom. I don't know. I thought those pitches were off the strike zone.
Well, let's face it. I think Gary Cedarstrom, he's been very liberal with the pitches or the pitchers on both sides tonight.
Carlos Ruiz takes low. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
All mental for me with Carlos Ruiz. He's another one that really just pressing a little bit too much. I said before, once he gets that first one out of there, that first home run it is, he'll feel a little bit better. So one of the things players need to realize, hard to make up everything that you, in the beginning of the season when you're playing or if you're hurt or suspended, hard to make all that ground back up in a short amount of time.
Off-speed pitch over for strike 2. Well, Carlos went the opposite way with the base hit his first time up.
He's one of those hitters. We've seen him before. He stays up the middle, right center, left center.
What a reaction.
Oh, boy.
Usually get that reaction when you smell a new glove. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Ruiz. Curveball ripped, caught by the third baseman Zimmerman. He cannot double up Delman Young. And there's one away. That ball was hit right on the nose by Carlos.
And that's the other thing. You're in a slump. When you do hit one, as you see him slam that bat in there, just can't catch a break. He hit the ball hard, hit a pretty good pitch. Give Delman Young credit. Look at that, right on the nose. Delman Young scampering back there to second base. Remember, on that line drive, you want to freeze, have nowhere to go. As long as you're back in time, that's what counts, however.
Awfully close. Lee will square, and he bunts foul. Looked like the Phillies may have gotten a break on that play at second. They'll take it, though.
A lot of times umpires, when it's a close play, will call you out just for not sliding. Not sure, always got to get down.
Young at second, Ruff at first.
Everything has been just off the corner a little bit on the outside. You know, Gary's been giving that pitch, but he's been giving it to both pitchers.
One ball, 2 strikes to Lee, and he bunts it. Boy, he deadened it beautifully. Gonzalez off the mound has it, and he gets Lee at first. So the sacrifice, even with 2 strikes, is successful. One 4 on the putout at first.
Yeah, that's a difficult bunt simply because he got a curveball there. That's after having 2 strikes on you. That's pressure to be able to get that down.
Well, Ben Revere had a base hit his first time up. Then he grounded it to a double play his last time.
Kicked it up a little gear there.
Sure
that
did.
Pitch. And that's what your good pitchers do. That fastball inside at 94. Nashville Field. That's what you call when you hear someone say reaching back. That's reaching back right there. 94 first pitch and 95 on the other one. Ben's been swinging a hot bat for the last month or so. Line drive. He's been hitting all over the place. Needs a 2-out clutch hit right now.
Well, here comes the 1-2 pitch. And a breaking ball, foul tipped. Side is retired. Phillies leave a couple in scoring position. So they left 4 through the first 5. Gio's pitch count is at 88 through 5. We'll be back with the top of the 6th after this. Cliff Lee behind double-digit wins and a dominating first half, very different from a year ago for the Phillies, has earned his 4th All-Star selection during a great career. Dominic Brown, who was voted 4th on the players' ballot, was also selected to the National League team for his first trip to the Midsummer Classic. Dom continues his sensational 2013 season, and Cliff Lee continues to be one of the best pitchers in baseball. And their all-star selections are brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, the Nationals had back-to-back home runs in the 5th inning, and that's those are the only runs we've seen so far against Cliff Lee, who will be heading to New York following Sunday's ball game for the All-Star festivities. He'll be joined by Dominic Brown. Home Run Derby on Monday night, and then the All-Star game, which you can watch on Fox, 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific on Tuesday night.
Like the National League over the American League?
Well, I will always like the National League over the American League.
Well, I know that, but I mean, just an innocent bystander. If you're looking at the teams there, you like National League better for the home run contest?
No, the Home Run Derby. Well, no, I think the American League's going to win the Home Run Derby. I mean, I'm on paper.
Yeah.
I mean, they got Prince, defending champ.
Yeah.
I think that they've got more pop. I think Cano can pepper that Utley's corner in right field. A 1 pitch to Zimmerman. Breaking ball in there for strike 2. It's 0-2.
Big ballpark too, though, for home runs, and they'll be smacking them out of there.
Yeah, I think that the captain for the American League can pop them out in right field more than the captain of the National League can pop them out in right field.
That's good point.
David Wright's power is usually the opposite way. That power goes to left center field for Zimmerman. Revere is out there, and that one is gone. It's the 3rd solo home run of the night for the Nationals, and they've taken a 3-0 lead. That was an 0-2 pitch.
Just again, he throws so many strikes. And I've had this conversation before, and they say no such thing as a pitcher throwing too many strikes. Well, he missed his spot. He wanted that ball up higher. He got it down. Zimmerman making him pay for it. Just got to make sure you get it out of the zone. You got 2 strikes. You worked hard to get that. Don't let him hit a mistake with a ball right down the middle. Uh-oh.
Jason Worth pulls one to left field, and that one is gone. It's the second time tonight the Nationals have gone back-to-back. They have 4 solo home runs. Well, this has been a strange 2 innings for Cliff Lee.
Well, again, most of those pitches he's getting hurt on is that cutter, not getting inside enough on those hitters. See Rich Doobie, pitching coach, is going to the phone.
Well, the 4 home runs he's allowed ties a career high.
Look where the pitch is. He's automatically swinging, looking for the ball, and that ball just up in the zone there a little bit. But that's where you have that major league hitter looking for a fastball, and he hasn't deviated off of that. Each and every hitter just about has started off with that heater. He comes right back at you.
Harry Cedarstrom, I don't know if you can hear it, but our crowd mic could pick it up in our headsets. Said, quit complaining. That's all you've been doing.
Yeah, they can actually hear you. They know voices for sure. It's pretty close. You don't have to have rabbit ears to be able to hear what coaches or managers are saying. And they call that protecting their players. But again, I think he's called that on both sides there. Balls that have been a little bit low, balls that have been a little bit high in the zone. Could have called that one a strike.
Luis Garcia, who just arrived yesterday from Lehigh Valley, is warming up in the pen for the Phillies. Hard throwing right-hander. And there's a called strike 3. 5 strikeouts for Lee. All-Star voting isn't over quite yet. You can vote for the final player for each league's roster until tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. Go to Phillies.com and cast your All-Star Game final vote for the final 2 All-Stars for the game in New York. Vote at Phillies.com or on your mobile phone. I have to admit, I'm shocked that Freddie Freeman is leading the final vote over Puig. That one's over to third on 1 hop.
Well, guys get on that internet, you're able to vote. So obviously he's getting a lot of votes. He didn't like his chances. We talked about that when he was here, but any one of those players, however well deserving. I like the shortstop that's here, Ian Desmond. But all 5 of those guys that they're talking about have had really good years. One a good month. I know he likes to throw that cutter, but I got to tell you, I like that fastball that he throws, that 4-seamer that would be on that inside corner that is straight for me.
That one's out toward the alleyway. Ben Revere comes diving into your screen to make the catch. The side is retired, and Cliff Lee certainly needed that after the inning began with back-to-back home runs, the second straight inning where the Nationals hit back-to-back home runs. Ryan Zimmerman, Jason Worth, 4 homers allowed by Lee, ties a career high. by WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most innovative lineup ever. Shop at ChooseNissan.com. Well, Gio Gonzalez has been staked to a 4-run lead as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. He's allowed only 3 hits. In fact, the Phillies' last hit was a leadoff single by Ruiz in the 3rd. The Phillies did have 1st and 2nd with nobody out in the 5th inning, but could not score a run. Now the Nationals have tacked on 2 more. Now, Gonzalez is at 88 pitches. We'll talk about that in a moment. But first, tomorrow at 5, get the latest on Chip Kelly and the Birds as they approach full squad workouts at training camp. Plus, all the latest from the Phillies as they close out the series against the Nats. All that and more on the next Philly Sports Talk, driven by Classic Nissan, tomorrow at 5 on Comcast Sportsnet. Sarge Gonzalez is at 88 pitches. He won't make another start before the All-Star break, so they can extend him a little bit more, I would think.
Now, they'll see how the game is actually going. They're not going to just let him throw extra pitches. Washington Nationals starting to flex their muscles a little bit with that long ball. White Fields need to be able to answer some kind of way.
Ryan Zimmerman, Jason Worth, they went back to back.
Yep.
Rollins hits one on one hop. Grabbed by Desmond, gets to his feet, scooped up by Adam LaRoche, and there's one away.
Tell you, one of the best in the business, that gentleman right there, Adam LaRoche, as he picks a tough ground ball. Well, got in on Jimmy Rollins just a little bit. See him looking out, not believing that Desmond made that play. Take a look at it as he catches it right in the webbing. Thought it was going to actually leak out. You can see that strong throw. Now watch this pick here. Guess it almost picks him, but nevertheless, he stays right with it. Again, one of the best in the game at doing that.
Out towards center field. It's well hit. Span back toward the track. Does he have room? He does. 2 steps from the wall.
That's great technique. He was off and running when that ball was hit. That's one of those balls that you drift on, you don't catch. Span actually running to a particular spot. Utley hitting it to like the deepest part of the field. Anywhere else, he might have a home run. Take a look at him at the top of the screen. He takes off, but watch how he just stopped as he knows he has it right there. Plenty of room as he reads that warning track. Great technique in catching the fly ball that's going over your head. He's got that velocity there where he wants it. Consistently now, 94, 95. Woo! That in a good spot, down and away. Starts to get those runs. Those good pitchers, boy, they start to feel it. Oh, wow. See if he gets a breaking ball or the fastball. He's had a good both pitches tonight.
I think he really likes his fastball right now.
Oh gosh, when they do, I mean, it just becomes such a challenge.
Throws him a breaking ball, and Dominic Brown can't hold up. He is struck out. 1, 2, 3 go the Phillies. We're through 6 innings. The Nationals hanging on to a 4-run lead.
time now for your local Honda dealers game summary. Washington Nationals with 4 home run balls here tonight. Solos, 2 back-to-backers. They hit a lot of hard stuff, it looked like, off Cliff Lee tonight. Fastballs and cutters. 2 of them were on 0-2 pitches. The Phillies, with runners in scoring position, they had a couple shots at Gio Gonzalez, especially when the game was a little bit closer. Not able to do anything with it. And Cliff Lee, tough night for him right now, but get hurt twice on 0-2 pitches for home run balls.
Well, he'll face Gonzalez, the pitcher, and then the top of the order as we begin the 7th. There was a point in the 6th where, after he gave up the second solo home run, that they did get somebody up and warming in the bullpen.
But they must have made Gonzalez go ahead and put that pad on his elbow. Huh?
Oh yeah, well maybe the only thing I can think of, not that this would make any sense. Well, no, because he didn't bunt the last time.
No,
he popped out at the last.
Well, did he have it on last time?
He didn't.
Yeah,
I mean, we would have noticed.
Well, somebody must have finally said, "Hey, Gio, what are you doing?" "Oh yeah, I got to put that pad on, don't I?"
It's not like you could forget that kind of pad. That's a big pad.
He's a left-hander, Tom.
0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. And 1 away. 6 strikeouts for Lee. Well, these lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They will each receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Two to Denard Span. Span is 0 for 3. He's grounded out twice. He's flying out to center. And now the 0-2 pitch. And he's just trying to stay alive. Big curveball, and it stays inside too much. And it's 2 balls and 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Nashville's pitcher allowed 2 sets of back-to-back homers in the same game, according to Carl Graber. Corey Lytle in July of 05 at Houston.
You don't see it that often.
No. 4 solos. Well, the second one's going to be a solo no matter what on a back-to-back.
But thankfully nobody's on in the first one. 2 quick outs here in the 7th. And that'll bring Ian Desmond to the plate.
That'll happen to Lee once in a while. We've seen that. You know, he'll get, so he just keeps pumping hard stuff at hitters and challenge them, and he's up a little bit in the zone. And these guys were wailing on some fastball. They were also, we mentioned it earlier, they were swinging early in the count at him, and they were determined to hit pitches early. It's a good way to approach Cliff Lee.
Desmond is doubled. He's also singled. He's flat out to right. Outside. Ground ball to third. Oh boy, what a play by Michael Young. That ball was hit hard to the glove side, dug out by Darren Ruff. And the side is retired in order. So Cliff Lee bounces back, retires the Nationals 1-2-3. Time to stretch here in Philadelphia with the Nats on top 4-0. All right, Wheels, here's the question one more time. Which two Phillies pitchers won back-to-back All-Star games in 94 and 95?
Well, my first reaction, then I realized I was wrong. I was thinking it was Ricky Batalico in 96.
Batalico
Well, I know, but
incorrect.
that was 96 when Bo was in the game. So I don't know. I have no idea. None. Zero. Zip.
Well, both were relief pitchers.
Yeah, kind of figured that.
Yeah. Both closed at certain points in their career.
I already got buzzed.
0-2 to Michael Young.
I can't imagine who the relievers were that they had in those days. It would have been an all-star game.
Michael Young is 1 for 2. Fouls it back.
I can't wait to see the answer because those weren't real good teams.
That is true. One guy had a really good mustache. Here are your answers. 1994, Doug Jones. 95, Heathcliff Sloan.
No wonder I didn't remember that.
Why?
Well, think about it.
They were all-stars, though, Wheels.
They were.
You're a walking Phillies encyclopedia.
I know. Well, some days it has a power failure. That one never would have gone. You know those two guys? Would you have thought of those two guys?
No, I would not have.
I don't think so.
Michael Young is down swinging for the 5th strikeout of the night for Gio Gonzalez. 1 out here in the 7th.
He used his changeup that time. We talked earlier about one of the ways to beat Gio Gonzalez is hope he walks a couple guys and then maybe get a hit or two. Well, he did that one inning. And Carlos Ruiz hit a screamer, but it was right at Zimmerman. Now, you give Gio Gonzalez a lot of credit tonight. I think he was fighting the umpire in that inning. It looked like he was really upset about some pitches. But that ball was hit right on the nose that Carlos hit. That ball goes through. Maybe it's a different game.
Here's the 0-1 pitch to Delman Young. Delman fights it off out to center. Span comes trotting in to make the catch for the 2nd out.
Gonzalez is doing a really good job of front running now with 4-run lead. And a very strong bullpen to back him up. Once he gets through 7, maybe even more.
2 outs. Darren Ruff's coming up. It's time for the Major League Notebook. Murph, take it away, buddy.
All right, thank you very much, T-Mike. Starting pitching in the Major League Notebook tonight, brought to you by Gwinnett Mercy College. The New York Mets are going to skip Matt Harvey's next scheduled start and begin limiting his innings for the rest of the year. As a result, though, Harvey will be able to pitch in the All-Star game this coming weekend. The Rangers have planned starter Yu Darvish. They placed him on the 15-day disabled list with a strained shoulder. The team is just calling it fatigue, and they do expect he'll be back right after the All-Star break. And the Giants' Matt Cain is saying he is healthy, but for the first time in his career, he failed to make it out of the first inning today against the New York Mets. Just went 2/3 of an inning through 36 pitches, allowed 2 hits, and walked 3 batters before he was replaced. But he says he's healthy, says he's just fine, just needs to work on a couple things, guys.
Darren Ruff the opposite way. Jason Worth goes out there, and that one is gone. A solo home run for Darren Ruff with 2 outs here in the 7th. And the Phillies are on the board. It's a 4-1 ball game.
Well, you hope they could get one up in the air in one of the short parts of the ballpark, but you can see the way it was flying. Nationals were hitting the ball out, and Darren Ruff was strong. Got it up in the air and hit it out down the line.
Darren Ruff had 7 home runs at Lehigh Valley. Here's his first with the Phillies.
Really kept his head down that time, got into that pitch and drove it to right field. A little more comfortable right now off a left-hander, it looks like, than some of those sliders you've been seeing from right-handed hitters.
Well, that makes Jack Walsh a winner in our McDonald's home run jackpot. Jack's just won $300.
This is a night for back-to-back homers, right?
Yep, here we go. Carlos Ruiz fouls the first pitch away. That home run, the 4th career Major League home run for Ruff. He's now hit in 5 straight. And the 0-1 pitch to Ruiz. And Ruiz lines one to left center field. That's a base hit. Kevin Franzen is going to come up to pinch hit for Cliff Lee.
You know, I don't know whether it meant anything or not, but we talked earlier in the game. If he starts driving the ball hard to right field, sometimes it brings him around. And he did hit a ball really hard. There's Ruff with that home run for a hit. And since then, you know, he's hit 3 balls hard tonight with Carlos Ruiz. Now, granted, that's a left-hander out there. You see him a little bit better. But maybe he's starting to come around a little bit.
It would be a good sign to get that. Darren Ruff's home run for each one hit by the Phillies this year. 1 tree will be planted by the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society as part of Home Runs for Trees, a partnership between the Phillies, PHS, and Aramark. Home Runs for Trees is part of Plant 1 Million, a project to restore the region's tree coverage. For more information, Visit Phillies.com/red-goes-green.
These guys have a really good bullpen, especially their late guys, when they can go Clippard and Storin and Soriano. So they're going to be careful now that Gonzalez is up to 110 pitches. The way the ball's flying here tonight, they're going to get Clippard up right now.
We haven't seen Clippard yet in the series. Haven't seen Storin in the series. Haven't seen Soriano in the series because Davey Johnson's team has been trailing late in games. Cliff Lee threw only 76 pitches tonight. Unfortunately, he gave up the 4 solos. 9 hits overall. No walks, 6 strikeouts. 76 pitches, 64 strikes. Franzen bunts toward third. Zimmerman comes on, bare hands, flips, and not in time. And that'll bring the tying run to the plate, albeit Ben Revere. It keeps the inning alive. Kevin Franzen is an excellent bunter, and he showed it right there.
Yeah, Zimmerman did all he could on that too. Still almost got him. That was a really good bunt by Kevin Franzen. There he is, dropping it down the line. And he beats it out. His feeling there, as you said, to bring the tying run up. If he hits a home run, it's a 1-run game. Even though the guy that you're bringing up is, well, he's due.
1,293 major league at-bats without a home run.
That's due. Another run here would be nice with 2 outs so they could pick it up. It's tough, though. It's tough, though, to get a run out of this when you're down by 3 and you have a catcher at second base, even with 2 outs. The outfielders all cheat in so much of Ben Revere. You don't gamble here down by 3. So unless it's in a certain area, you go 1 base at a time, even with 2 outs. This guy is so tough on left-handed hitters. Not holding Franzen on at first base. Figuring Revere's not a guy that's going to get an extra base hit. A lot of times you'll hold a guy on, even though it's still a 3-run lead, you'll hold him on because you just don't want to give him an easier chance to score in a double. But in this case, I think with a 3-run lead, plus they don't think this is an extra base hitter up.
In the dirt, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Clipper, they even against anybody with that changeup of his. It doesn't matter right or left. Ben can get on here. You have to think this is his last hitter.
Yeah, figure he's at 116 pitches. Although he doesn't have to worry about his next start because of the All-Star break.
Right, that's one of the reasons why they're probably extending him tonight.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Revere. Opposite way. Going back on it is Harper. He's there, and he makes the catch. Right at the edge of the warning track of the side. It is retired. 1 run on the home run by Darren Ruff. The Phillies lead 2. They've left 6 tonight against Gio Gonzalez. We go to the 8th inning. Nats up by 3. where Toyota takes you. Test drive one at your Toyota dealer. Toyota, let's go places. By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your fills. And by Dodge. Visit Dodge.com or your local dealer today. Top of the 8th inning. Wills, we have a major league debut upon us.
Always fun to watch.
Luis Garcia, a right-hander who has blasted his way up the Phillies system this year. Started in Clearwater, made it to Reading, then to Lehigh Valley. That's what he did in 31 games in the minor leagues. Now, he is kind of a minor league veteran. He was out of baseball for a couple of years. Now, this past offseason, well, thinking his major league career was over, he decided to do a little teaching, a little baseball teaching in New Jersey, in Dover, New Jersey, near Toms River. And he started getting the itch to play again. And the Phillies had their scout, Sal Agustinelli, go take a look at him. Threw 95 right out of the chute at an indoor facility. They invited him down to Clearwater. Threw 95, 96 again right out of the chute. They decided to give him an opportunity, and, well, here he is, making his major league debut. It is a great story on so many fronts.
Look who he faces in his major league debut, these three guys.
Face Bryce Harper, Ryan Zimmerman, and Jason Worth.
Yeah, that's quite a debut.
No balls and one strike.
Harper comes right up and swings at the first thing he sees from him.
Garcia last pitched professionally for the Newark Bears up in North Jersey. Pitched there for a couple seasons. As we mentioned, he found himself out of baseball for a couple of years. Remarkably, baseball does have these stories from time to time, particularly for guys that can throw. And there's his slider. They feel like that is a very good pitch for him. He's got a changeup that is a work in progress.
Watching him warm up, he threw fastball, slider. I don't think he threw a changeup.
I guess the thought is that as a relief pitcher, he probably only needs fastball and slider.
Let's call another slider, I think Chooch just did. Yep.
That'll be out of play, and it remains 1-2.
Watching that from the center field camera, he puts down 3. That's a slider.
You know what he was doing, Wheels, while he was out of baseball?
He had all kinds of jobs.
Well, he was cutting hair. Or he was at least going to school to learn how to cut hair.
Said he was a mover, too, right?
I think that's what he did also, just to make some extra money.
Well, Carlos just called to put the pinky down in. He wanted a fastball in, and he threw a pretty hard fastball in to cut a little bit. Another slider.
Outside, 3-2. Ryan Zimmerman on deck here in the top of the 8th. 4-1 Nationals on 4 solo home runs.
Backed up sliders. I think that breaking ball is like to a right-handed hitter. It's got a little bite to it.
Rich Doobie, he had never seen him.
Yeah, he's on a recon right now.
Ground ball back toward the middle. Rollins is there. That was a fastball at 95, one away. Now it's time to take a look at our Coors Light Freeze Cam.
Well, these are their home run swings. Rendon and then Ramos. Zimmerman hit the longest one, deep left center field, and then Jason Worth down the line and left. And you can see those balls are pretty much on the barrel on those Coors Light freeze frames.
Brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Little Go high with that first fastball. 1-0.
Well, he does have some. He does have a big arm. There's no doubt about that. See if that slider to right-handed hitters makes him jelly leg a little. Good Carlos Ruiz. You saw him shake, make him shake, try to get something in Zimmerman's head, and then he threw that. That's the slider I was hoping to see to a right-handed hitter, because it looks like it's a biter enough that they're going to pull off, and he really pulled off. Does it again to him, make him shake. Another one.
Swing and a miss. It eats up Ruiz and goes into the dugout.
How about that?
So Zimmerman will get first base.
Boy, that's a good breaking ball.
It'll be a wild pitch. It's the 6th wild pitch given up while Ruiz is behind the plate.
And see this hard slider and hit his glove and bounce away. That's normally the kind that Carlos Ruiz will deaden and keep in front of him. But in that case, it hit the heel of the glove, it looked like, and then just exploded away.
Well, that'll bring Jason Worth to the plate. He's 2 for 3, 4 for 9 in the series. A couple home runs in the series.
Yeah, this guy looks like a little bit just throwing that hard slider and everything. We had him in our quiz tonight. Heath Slocum. Remember how he used to throw fastball, hard slider like that? Slocum never threw anything that was slow.
Upstairs, 2-0. That was a different slider right there, and it was a pretty good spot.
I don't know he meant to throw it there. Maybe he wanted to throw it at him. Right? More than not, you want to throw that thing towards the middle and down and away to a right-handed hitter.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Jason Worth. He went back with a fastball. It's 3-2. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the White Sox and the Tigers moved to the bottom of the 6th. Tigers lead that one 7-3. Prince Fielder, 3 hits in the ball game. One more day, Wheels. You got to get caught up on your White Sox.
Yeah, I took the media guy home yesterday just for that reason. First thing I looked at was to make sure the broadcasters were the same. They are.
Ed Farmer doing radio.
Darren Jackson's with him.
Hawk Harrelson and Steve Stone.
Steve Stone,
on television. Ryan Zimmerman's at first. There he goes. Pitches up high, ball 4. So that'll put 2 on with 1 out. For years, StubHub has been the place to find great Phillies tickets. And this season, you can get more with your tickets thanks to StubHub Fan Rewards. So get to StubHub and grab your seats today.
Yeah, adrenaline rush on that one. Just that's the worst. I don't use the word worst. The fastball that he threw out of the zone the most since he's been out there. He just totally overthrew that one real high. No chance for anybody to swing at it. They're going to probably get somebody up pretty soon. Yeah, there goes Rich Doobie, the phone, because he's already thrown 19 pitches. And they probably like something of what they've seen so far, but you don't want to overextend him. You know, he should have had 2 outs, nobody on base. Maybe you work Worth a little differently then.
Well, here's LaRoche, who's 0 for 3. Phillies set up to turn 2. Everybody around baseball is looking for arms out of the bullpen. Phillies are no different. Even with all the young pitchers they have, they sent Felipe Almonte out to bring Garcia in.
Even if you find him in a cosmetology school.
Even if you find him cutting hair. We're teaching young kids how to throw. Out towards second, diving stop. Utley flips to second for one. Rollins tries, and he does turn the double play.
Jason Worth got his leg too.
Yes, he did. 4-6-3 double play. Great stop by Utley, and some great poise by Rollins to keep his bearings and finish off this double play.
Now watch Worth get his leg. Great play by Chase to start it, and then Worth gets his leg right there and spins him out a little bit. Still gets him.
Yeah, they got some pretty good defense to finish off the top of the 8th, and that's our Hyundai defensive play of the game.
Yeah, this is a terrific double play. First Chase on the magnificent stop, and then Jason Worth does a nice clean slide there at Jimmy Rollins. Kicks his foot a little bit, and Jimmy just shakes it off, gets it back down, and a lot on the throw, and nails the road for that double play.
Oh, everybody around the Delaware Valley thinks Chase Utley is Superman, including us, and he just did a little Superman act to try to get that ball.
That ball was hit hard, too. It's a good play.
He's up second in this inning against Tyler Clippard. 39th game for Clippard. He's been steady. 39 strikeouts and 37 2/3.
Great change-up. One of the reasons why the left-handed hitters are only hitting 159 off. Of course, he's eating up right-handed hitters, too. This guy's a tremendous back of the bullpen pitcher.
He's having a very good year. You know, he had a little shakiness at times last year when he was the closer.
Yeah, well, that can happen. It's a different world. Pitch that 9th inning.
Popped up right side. And there's one out. This Sunday, when the Phillies wrap up the first half of the 2013 baseball season, All fans 15 and over coming to the ballpark to watch the White Sox game will receive the Pennsylvania Auto Theft Prevention Authority Phillies travel mug. To get your tickets, go to Phillies.com. You can get tickets for all 3 of those games against the White Sox. The final interleague games of the season here at Citizens Bank Park. The Phillies do have one trip after the All-Star break against the Tigers.
Yeah, the DH will come in to play one more time for them this year at Detroit. Phillies have not been there for a while. They've brought the fences in a little bit since the last time they were there. Good ballpark to do a game from a broadcasting standpoint. I remember how nice it was. That old ballpark, scary.
It is amazing, though, you think about those the other old ballparks. You got Wrigley and Fenway, and Tiger Stadium, and Comiskey. They didn't preserve those two. You know what I mean? And maybe
County Stadium was like that too.
Yeah, but County Stadium, well, yeah, I guess so.
Can't let that one go.
They
that was
did. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, they kind of let it go.
Right.
Although I guess people feel the same way about Tiger Stadium, is that they kind of let it go.
Mm-hmm. Well, the one they built downtown is beautiful, and that's one of those ones that people would, they want to go to different ballparks, and you don't think about that because that's the American League Central. You don't play them. That's a nice one.
It's not too far from where the old one sat.
Right. Oh yeah, very close to where the old one was. So they made that great movie, 61. Was that what it was called? The Maris movie.
Yep.
The Maris movie. They made it in that ballpark. And they're trying to make it Old Tiger Stadium. Yeah. Obviously after it had closed, they did it. It looked pretty good.
Well, they tried to preserve it up until a couple of years ago when they finally demolished it. Tried to make it a historical landmark. Ernie Harwell, the late Ernie Harwell, was part of the push to do that. In the dirt, 2-2 to Utley.
Trying to get some base runners. This game's still very manageable the way the ball's flying here tonight, as hot as it is. Gio Gonzalez managed things well tonight. He got some jams, but he's got strikeout stuff and out pitches, and he got through it.
Yeah, he scattered 6 hits over 7 innings. Utley shoots it the other way, a base hit. And that gives Dominic Brown an opportunity with a base runner. Phillies down by 3.
Great approach to a guy like Clippard with that great changeup that he has. And his fastball's in the mid-90s, so it's not like you think you can just foul it off. Chase was probably guarding against a changeup, but wasn't going to give up the fastball. Got a fastball, just took it the other way. Roach is saying, I hit that ball hard, didn't I, last time? How'd you get to that? Chase, yeah, you hit that right in the nose.
Desmond took a peek to see where Dominic Brown and Chase Utley were as he settled under it. And he makes the catch, and there are 2 outs. Dominic's 0 for 4. Michael Young is 1 for 3, doubled it in the second. He's grounded out and struck out. Justin DeFreitas in the bullpen. throwing for a while, so that's why he's just standing there, because he's loose and seemingly ready to go.
Doesn't take long tonight.
No balls, 1 strike. Ground ball to shortstop. Desmond backs up on it for a moment, and the Phillies leave 1 here in the 8th inning. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. We've played 8. It's time for the 9th. The Phillies still trailing by 3. Show. Get your tickets for not only tomorrow's game against the Nationals, but also Friday's game against the White Sox. Hang on afterward, and you'll see one of the best fireworks show you'll ever see here at Citizens Bank Park. Again, go to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets. Now, top of the 9th inning. It's I guess you could say it's another close ball game. It's 4-1. And Justin DeFreitas will take over for the Phillies, trying to keep it at a 4-1 game. Give the offense one last chance against Rafael Soriano, the closer.
Right, he's up throwing right now for them. DeFreitas needs a nice clean inning, be good for his psyche. Yeah, they really are counting on to pitch games, pitch deep, pitch late in games for them.
Well, he'll face Rendon, Wilson Ramos, and then the pitcher's spot. Rendon is 1 for 3, couple of ground outs. He started the solo home run for the Nationals back in the 5th. He was the first to go back-to-back with Wilson Ramos.
And a line drive home run, a couple, a row or 2 in left field.
Yeah.
Bullet.
There's Cliff. 7 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs. No walks, 6 strikeouts. A good part of this game tonight. He was flat out dominant.
It was Cliff Lee. You know, he gets him out fast, and when teams score on him, it happens fast. Well, tonight it's 4 homers. But the reason it always happens fast is because he throws so many strikes. He don't walk anybody. That hadn't happened for a while, though, where he got hit around a little bit.
One ball, 2 strikes to Rendon. Out toward right center field. Delman Young out into the alleyway. Won't get that one. It's off the scoreboard. And Rendon's going to go to second. And he's there standing. So he has his second extra base hit of the night.
WB makes a delivery to the game. Here come those 4 home runs. Mentioned Rendon's with a line smash to left field, right in the first row. That fan was all right out there. Now, this one also was basically into the first row. This one wasn't. Well, it may be in the first row, but it's really deep. Yeah, it's a long one by Zimmerman. And then Jason Worth comes up and goes down the left field line. They were wearing out the first, second, and third rows on those homers.
So Ramos is up with a runner at second. Four home runs ties a career high for Cliff Lee. He's done it 2 other times. 4 home runs allowed, I should say. Series winds down tomorrow night. It'll be Kyle Kendrick going to the mound for the Phillies. He'll be opposed by Jordan Zimmerman. The Nationals head to Miami, and the Phillies will await the arrival of the White Sox. Oh, 2 pitch. Ground ball back to the mound, off the glove of DeFreitas. He still has time, and he throws wide. That'll be an E1. And Chad Tracy will pitch hit. Charlie Manuel's going out. Diekman's been warming up in the bullpen, so he's probably going to go get DeFreitas and bring in the left-hander. There is the call. So Justin DeFreitas will give the baseball to Charlie Manuel. Diekman will come on to face the left-handed hitting Chad Tracy. Span is on deck after him, then Harper, or excuse me, then Desmond. So a pitching change. It's an AT&T call to the bullpen here at the top of the 9th inning. The Phillies down by 3, trying to keep it that way when we come back. Diekman, his 13th game. In 9 innings so far. The opposition's hitting .341 against him. And he'll face a righty instead of a lefty. You know, every time the Phillies retire, the opposing team 1, 2, 3. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports, giving you all your favorite sports all year long. So instead of Chad Tracy, it'll be Hairston, the right-hander, with runners on first and second.
One of the reasons they got Hairston to give him a little sock from the right side. opposition manager may make this move, bring in a left-hander. They don't necessarily want to use Tracy as bait, but it's a little easier for them now with this guy sitting there.
Diekman delivers a strike. It's 0-1. Rendon at second. Ramos at first. Neither team has lit it up with runners in scoring position tonight.
Yeah, the Nationals hit 4 solo homers.
Yeah, the Nats are 0 for 5. Phillies are 0 for 7.
Nobody in scoring position when they hit those homers.
There's Soriano. Delman Young over a few strides, makes the catch. Rendon's going to go. Here's the throw to third on one hop, not in time. And he did let it fly, but Rendon does run pretty well. I'll tell you, he has a way better arm than anybody ever said.
Yeah. One thing you heard about him was he could throw from right field, but he couldn't from left. Now, he explained that one. I have no idea why. But, yeah, he not only has a strong arm, but it's accurate. That took that hop real close to the bag, so it's a really tough hop for a third baseman to handle and tag somebody out anyway, because you have to retreat on it.
Well, Denard Span will bat. Phillies will play the infield in.
Yeah, they can't afford to go up another run here, and Span's tough to double, so you play the infield in. If somehow he were to hit a hard ground ball right towards the middle of the diamond, then they'll go for it. But what Diekman wants more than anything here is a strikeout.
It's a good start. 0-1. And now Ruiz will go out and talk to Diekman. As we mentioned, a reminder tomorrow, the starting pitchers: Kyle Kendrick for the Phillies, 7-6. Jordan Zimmerman, a 12-game winner for the Nationals.
Well, he's gotten good. He had his Tommy John surgery a couple of years ago. Zimmerman, an all-star. That's when they think they could do something. They could ever get in the postseason again with those three: Zimmerman, Strasburg, and Gio Gonzalez. That's a pretty tough three.
Little dribbler. It's going to be a tough play. Diekman will have to get the out at first, and he throws it right on by Ruff and up the right field line. 1 run scores. They'll hold Ramos at third. Span goes to second. It's the second error of the inning charged to a Phillies pitcher. And it's now a 5-1 ball game.
Yeah, no chance for a play at the plate as he just dribbles this out there, but Diekman has a lot of time to get him at first base and just kind of panicked a little bit and threw it away. Ruff gave him a good angle to throw, too.
Well, they're going to, I think, put Desmond on and face the lefty Harper. So it's an E1. You do give an RBI to Span because the runner would have scored anyway. This has made the bottom of the ninth a little tougher for the Phils. They're down by 4. There's still just 1 out.
Let's see what they do with Soriano out there right now. He's still walking around. It's only a 4-run game. They add more here. Although he's heated up and he hasn't pitched for a while.
Yeah, and they probably look at the scoreboard, even though it is July 10th, and see the Braves have lost already.
Yeah, it just depends. If they were to add a lot more runs in this inning, they would think maybe not bring him in. But then again, when a guy's ready to go, maybe they're going to figure he needs to work anyway.
Well, the bases are loaded. You saw the runners. 1 unearned run is scored already because of the 2 errors that have been committed. And Bryce Harper, who has 2 hits in 4 at-bats, will face Diekman.
There's nobody out, so this is Diekman's inning at this point. Even though the right-handed hitter coming up next. Slider, you got him to pull off on that one.
Now the 0-2 pitch. Down and away. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Diekman's really going to get good when he can throw the same slider with 2 strikes he just threw with 1, where it's a strike out of his hand and then a ball when they swing at it. That thing's a ball out of his hand right away. And I think with a young pitcher, sometimes they try to make a perfect pitch. You think, I'm in the major leagues, I got to do a little different. And you don't have to make a perfect pitch. You have to show it as a strike. See, that was never a strike.
He certainly has all the ability to be a very good left-hander.
Yeah, he can just get it so that it tantalizes them a little bit and they chase it. Because he has enough fastball that they're not comfortable. You don't want to get hit by a guy like this. So they're not going to dive as much. I think it's just a matter of whether he can get himself comfortable enough to understand that with 2 strikes, even in the major leagues, you don't have to throw a perfect pitch. You get a full count, you get 2-2. That's a little different thing. Throw more fastballs now with a count of 2-2 because you don't necessarily want to slide or miss and then get into a have to fastball count. That's one of Charlie's expressions, a have to count. Have to throw a fastball.
Well, he's trying to get Harper, and then he's got to deal with Zimmerman. And now Ruiz will go out to talk to Diekman. I guess Diekman probably wanted to throw a certain pitch, and Carlos was trying to just get an explanation of why he wants to throw that pitch.
And maybe Ruiz wants him to throw something. Take charge as a catcher with a young pitcher.
Check swing. Did he go? No. Took care of Pazza.
That was a good one, though.
Yeah,
that was a better slider there because he showed it as a strike for a while. But now with a 2-2 count, the guy doesn't chase it the way he may have with an 0-2 count. That's the difference.
He's going to have to throw him a fastball here.
Well, that's the thing about throwing a 2-2. You're going to throw it on 3-2. That's the have to throw a fastball count, maybe.
Swing and a miss. He got it with a slider. Forget about the fastball.
Forget about the have to count. Huh?
That's a good job.
And that wasn't one they tried to bounce either. Or I don't know whether he didn't try to bounce it on purpose, but he threw it in the zone by a lot and up. Here it is. It's actually a little bit of a hittable one, but he did get him to pull off enough that Harper missed it.
Now he needs to get a Ryan Zimmerman, who is so far tonight has homered. He has struck out 3 times. Ground ball foul. It's 0-1. So far, 1 unearned run is scored in the inning. Everything after this, if anything else scores, it'll be unearned. Ramos over at third, Span at second, and Desmond at first. Slowest of the three is the guy over at third. Swing and a miss. He got him on a 2-2 fastball right at the knees. Back-to-back strikeouts for Diekman. Nationals do score a run. It was an unearned run. 2 errors in the inning. The Nats leave him loaded. One last chance for the Phillies when we return. On Cliff Lee's performance against the Nationals, only on Pure Auto Insurance, presents Phillies post-game live. We go to the bottom of the ninth inning. It's 5-1. Nationals on top. The scheduled hitters are Delman Young, Darren Ruff, and Carlos Ruiz. Rafael Soriano, in a non-save situation, is on to try to close it out for the Nationals. The Phillies have taken the first 2 games. Soriano's been a very good pickup by Washington. Delman Young is 0 for 2. Phillies trying to come from behind, gain another game on the Braves, but also get to the 500 mark. They're at 45 and 46.
Sometimes you hope the closer comes in and not your guy comes in a non-save situation and have the same juice.
That one's ripped foul. Look out, Ryan Sandberg and everybody else over by the tarp. That was a guided missile. Off the end of the bat, it's 1 ball and 2 strikes to Delman.
Serrano throws a lot of fastballs and cutters. It's always been his MO. Not a lot of off-speed stuff. A little bit like the guy that he took last year for the Yankees, Mariano Rivera.
Center field, and Denard Span is there. 1 away here in the bottom of the 9th. And Darren Ruff, who's accounted for the only run for the Phillies, is up for a 4th time. He's 1 for 2. Fouls it away. Now it's 0-2. Soriano looks unfazed by everything.
Oh yeah, he looks like he barely has a pulse when he's out there. That's not a bad makeup for a closer.
Okay, you have two different ends of the spectrum. There's really nothing in the middle. You either have a guy that's high strung, has a lot of flair, or a guy that is as looking as mellow as you can look in a tight situation. This is a 4-run game, like Mariano Rivera.
Yeah, that's what this guy's like too. He's methodic.
You know who was like that was Jose Mesa.
Yep,
like that.
He sure was. I mean, you know they have accelerated heartbeats because that's what that profession does for you. But some guys just don't show it.
Outside, 1-2 to Ruff. And Ruff hits it deep to center field. Span on the run out toward the track, leaps, and he makes the catch as he slams it to the fence.
Great play, especially in a 4-run lead.
That ball was hit well by Darren Ruff.
Yeah, Ruff had a good swing at that, hit it to the deepest part of the ballpark. See Span, he never even took a look at the wall. He felt the warning track, knew where he was, knew if he looked down again, he probably wouldn't catch it. Watch him here. That's the last look he takes right there, and then crashes into the padding out there. That's a tremendous play. I think if he takes one more look for the wall, he loses a half a step and he can't get to it.
A couple pretty good swings by Darren Ruff tonight. A couple pretty good plays by Span. Bryce Harper knows a few things about running into the wall. How about the throw back from Span? It never got back. It actually went toward the warning track.
Well, I'm just talking about an accelerated heart rate. He probably had one after that play.
Ruiz is 2 for 3 in this game. Ruiz sends one towards center for Span. So Span back on it, makes the catch, retires all 3 hitters here in the 9th inning. And the Phillies drop game 3 to the Nationals by a final of 5-1. The Nationals banked 4 solo home runs. Jason Worth, his 2nd home run of the series. Ryan Zimmerman hit a long one. His was the longest of the 4. Rendon was the guy who started the barrage with the first solo home run. Wilson Ramos hit one too. And the Nationals take game 3 by a final of 5-1. And our Chevrolet player of the game is the guy that was able to front run. That's Gio Gonzalez.
Yeah, he did a good job tonight. Gio Gonzalez is a tough pitcher, one of the best pitchers in the league. Phillies had a couple shots at him, but they weren't able to do anything with runners in scoring position. He was able to make pitches. He had that one inning where he walked a couple batters, but Carlos Ruiz had a line smash right at third, and they got out of it after that. And he threw enough ground balls. There's that real good curveball that he uses for a strikeout. Fastball, curveball, occasional changeup. Great stuff. Great swing and miss stuff. That's what you see with Gio Gonzalez. You will see a lot of swings and misses in the course of a ball game, and there were a lot of them tonight.
So he's our Chevrolet player of the game. The Nationals take game 3 of this 4-game series. They do it by a final of 5-1. They banged out 10 base hits against Cliff Lee and the rest of the Phillies staff. We'll be back right after this.